Welcome back into the Winter's Residency. Today we're going to be going over Mercenaries in Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 8. Are the two most recent Mercenaries we've gotten. This is honestly just like a subjective thing, more so in my opinion than anything. I want to say it's kind of a biased opinion, but not really. It's kind of just like what I personally is better. So biased. I don't know. We are going to start off with Resident Evil 8. Over here to my right, likely some gameplay of mine is playing. If you're actually watching that over there and not just using me in the background, you'll see that I am decent at the game. I'm not amazing, and if you're looking at it and you're thinking, wow, you know, you're not really taking a lot of damage, you're not really falling down a bit, that's because I cut all of the bad parts out, so you are only seeing the good bits. Just keep that in mind. So we have four things. I have four things here to rank them by each, and I'm gonna try and go through it relatively quick to try and keep them. Firstly is I lied. Two things each. So firstly is the difficulty. In my opinion, by difficulty, I don't necessarily mean like it's hard to play. I mean it's like, no, I do mean it's hard. It's hard to play and hard to compete and like get the minimum. In Resident Evil 4, where it's more like an arcade and you can just keep going and eventually, so long as if you keep up your combo, if you defeat enough of the villagers and monsters, if you get a lot of the extra things that give you extra time and stuff, then you can usually reach like an A or S rank pretty easily, in my opinion. But in Resident Evil 8, there are limited for that, so you have to be quick. You have to be precise. I know there's like specific areas where some of the monsters will spawn. So you have to be quick to move from one area to the next so that you can get all of them and then move to the end. For Resident Evil 4, it kind of just, like, you either run out of time or you die and it ends it for you there. While for Resident Evil 8, you have to just, you have to kill a minimum amount. You can go above to get higher points. You have to get a minimum amount and then go to the, I forget the word. You have to go to the exits. That's in a specific spot, so you have to be moving around a lot on a time limit. And that's kind of hard to do, in my opinion. So difficulty for that, I definitely say Resident Evil 8 is more difficult. Yeah. Well, some people would argue that Resident Evil 4 is harder because you kind of do get swarmed and stuff. You have more abilities and stuff that can let you, like, get away from them, you know? Resident Evil 8 is more, it's just more difficult. Mission/completion oriented. I personally don't like the arcade-ness of Resident Evil 4 Mercenaries because you just keep going and there's like, it's like there's no stop ever, and you keep going, you're getting swarmed, you get more and more points, and it's like it's almost overwhelming to me. It's like I don't know when I'm done. I don't know when I've done enough. It just keeps going. I prefer Resident Evil 8 more so because it shows you how many, there's a limited amount on the map, and it shows you how many of them you've gotten through, so you can know like, oh, I'm missing one, and go find it, blah blah blah. It's a lot more easier to just, it's easier to complete, and I just prefer that, honestly. Mission/completion oriented, I truly do prefer Resident Evil 8 because there's actually like an end goal in mind when you're doing it. It's not just you're going and going and going and going. I think maybe it's from my history with playing COD Zombies a lot, where in COD Zombies you don't exactly get to count, but there are like waves and stuff So there's more of that like completion thing in mind. I'm kind of just I have a completionist mindset, I guess you could say. I prefer that sort of thing, personally. Now, so I'm upside starting before. Fun wise, the arcadeness is really fun. It's got that adrenaline boosting, you can work up to a low power up, and I don't know, our arcade games are always like a lot more fun, generally, you know? I think everybody can agree that on that usually. Um, if you're in the mood for it, if I'm in the mood for it, I'll open up Resident Evil 4 and just play Mercenaries to kill some time, and I don't know, just keep on doing it. It's kind of a, it's like I don't even know what to call it really. It's a good idle thing to do in free time usually. Yeah, but I mean, fun wise, it has to go to Resident Evil 4 because you can choose different characters, you can unlock them. Well, it's Resident Evil 8, it's basically just Ethan the whole time until you work and work to get the other characters. But off the bat, for Resident Evil 4, you have Leon and Ada, I believe. And it's not that hard to unlock some of the other characters. Some of them, you really gotta work hard for that, but, like, I think Luis is the easiest to get. Yeah, he's the easiest to get. And it's, I don't know, I just find that more fun, you know? For replayability, I think it definitely has to go to Resident Evil 4 as well. I don't know, there's something, arcade games are really just the games to be playing if you want to be able to do it again and again and again and again. Because it's not always going to be 100% the same every single time. The same enemies will appear at certain points in the timer, I believe. But I don't know, they'll appear in different spots, they'll have different orders, blah blah blah. It's so much easier to replay than Resident Evil 8, which it kind of gets tiring over time. And to be completely honest, I prefer playing, like, shooter games in third person than first. First makes me a bit more dizzy, if I'm to be honest. I get that, like, motion sickness from it. And moving around a lot can be kind of annoying when you're in first person. That's my own personal opinion, but that's just like another point to Resident Evil 4. But while all of this is true, I think ultimately, in my opinion, Resident Evil 8 Mercenaries is the better game. It definitely, the big thing going for it is the completionist thing, you know? It's that, like, I don't know, it's, I just like having an objective in mind and, like, going to do it. It's why also I don't really like open world games. When Resident Evil 9 was first announced, and they were saying that it was going to be open world, I was really not looking forward to it because open world games can be good in theory, but I don't think it's really suited for Resident Evil as a whole. Games like Horizon Zero Dawn or Horizon Forbidden West, that series, the open worldness obviously works for it. What else is open world? Slime Rancher, in a way, is open world, question mark? I don't know. But, you know, games like that, they're more suited towards open world. Resident Evil 4, it's always been very contained, you know? I don't really know how to explain it. That's just, open world isn't for Resident Evil. And, I don't know, maybe in the future I'll get proved wrong, but, yeah, you know? I don't remember how I got on the topic of open world, I'm not going to lie. But, yeah, Resident Evil 8 Mercenaries, I believe, is the better one out of our two most recent ones. That's TLDR. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in. Tear me to shreds in the comments if you hate my opinion. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications, it gives me life. and we're just gonna keep going. Thanks so much for tuning in.